Hey guys, it's your boy Pat. Welcome back to the next episode of the Hollow Down Cigar Lounge podcast. We are bringing in Thanksgiving season of 2024 with this show today, and we got our two homeboys with us today. We got Chad over here up top, Mr. Ryan back with us. How's it going, gentlemen?
Good, good.
Hey, what's going on?
Pretty good. I don't know how it is November. Obviously, we record this before Thanksgiving, because hopefully we're doing Thanksgiving things as this is actually going live. But it's still like 80 degrees right now. I had to put two tents up because it was blaring hot. So y'all's future comment about us needing sheds down here for the summer, it's like summer doesn't want to go away. So
Not the
kind
case
of
for me.
I'm kind of envious of your weather right now, man. I
Well,
swear.
I'd rather have 80 than 49. So,
Yeah, I don't
I
want
just
it
like
to
the
happen.
happy medium.
yep,
So,
65.
see, that's where I would love it to be right now. Is like 65. But
65. Yep.
not to only talk about the weather, but we are pulling out the steak today with the Thanksgiving theme with Dunbarton's. And of course, the sun is going to whitewash mine absolutely. So, Chad, I guess I'm going to have to use you again. Show this baby some love. So, what's cool is we are all smoking Dunbarton red meat lovers, but we are all smoking a different size. So, Chad has got the beef stick, which is a 6x48. Ryan has the ribeye, which is a 6x52. And if you expect nothing less, I'm smoking the porterhouse, which is your box press Gordo of a 6x60.
2 hours,
So,
you'll be done.
right? Every once in a while you get one that throws you off. You think it's going to be a 2 hour smoke, and it's so good you can't stop puffing on it, and you end up
That is
smoking it as quick as
true.
a, which is a good problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we were smoking the same size, the same Vitola. This one we're smoking the same blend, different sizes, which we don't always get to do. It just kind of looked out that way. So I'm interested to see if we get the same notes, the same blend, or if we see differences.
Yeah, I've had quite a few. The only one I haven't had is the one you're smoking, Pat. And the beef stick has a lot more pepper or spice. I do know that. The other ones, I've had the filet and what's the one you're smoking, Ryan?
The ribeye.
The ribeye.
Ribeye.
I've had the ribeye is my favorite, but the filet and the ribeye were similar, but not as spicy.
So
Yeah.
for common size references, the filet mignon is basically a robusto. Beefsteak is more or less a Lonsdale. Ribeye would be your Toro. Porterhouse your Gordo. So if you're watching, don't know the numbers, those are kind of your links. So you basically have a Lonsdale, a Toro, and a Gordo being smoked all at once today. But
And the
before
thing I love
we
about the ribeye is the box press. I'm a sucker for a box press too.
Me
So
too. I
it's
love
just
box
like
presses.
they feel so good in your hand. Pat, like you always talk about how you like the bigger sticks because your hand. I just love the box
right,
press. In a V cut, I did the V. I always do a V on my box press too. So
Yep.
I normally do a V cut, and but today I did a straight cut because I'm just in a smoky mood, and I've learned that this one, just the porterhouse, kicks a lot of smoke. So I figured I'd open it up. But before we start getting into too much of our experiences here, we're gonna go straight to, and again, kind of like we did with Aventura, went straight to the source on here on DunbartonCigars.com to give you some info about the red meat lovers. So, if you don't know the history of this one, it was originally created with the request of the Red Meat Lovers Club to smoke at their charity dinners. It just became so popular that it became a routine release. It is a Connecticut broadleaf, technically, doesn't taste like that. It tastes bolder and smoother to me, but it's got excuse me, that Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, and it's included with San Andreas and Nicaraguan binders and fillers. About a 4 out of 5 on your strength scale. And tasting notes is a rich, meaty, dark Liga that is the perfect full-bodied smoking experience to complement a heavy meal or a stout beverage. So just anticipating raw, meaty, rich, bold flavors is what we're going for here, which fits the theme of red meat lovers.
That's right. I really think that those flavors is really what draws us to like these cigars so much. I mean, you think about like us men, it's like grilling, hanging out, good steak on the grill, good dinner, and then to have this go along and complement that, and it's just like you feel like you've almost marinated your cigar with what you get ready to cook.
Right, and
I
there's
think
so many people that smoke these when it comes to grilling or family dinners. We all, I'm sure we've done it. We've seen posts of other guys doing it. It's just a perfect pairing scenario, so those flavors do match up. And they didn't make this one to be a super complex cigar. It's not like that. Your Ona was where we had 16 flavors and we're pulling out all of them. There's 2 or 3 things here. They're your common things, but they're straightforward with it. It's good things.
I think I read a couple times that they actually developed the flavors in that cigar so that you could smoke it while you were eating a steak. That was the
Wouldn't surprise me.
intention. That was the intention. So
Would not surprise me at all.
I got some crazy wind today, so I'm probably going to be doing some touch-ups.
That's fair. That was getting us the other day. So
Oh, I was going to show you this. So these are the lighters I just purchased for Cigars for Warriors. I decided I should put some butane in one and try it out, and they work really well. Maybe not out here because of this wind, but
stupid wind.
I did light my earlier cigar with it. But those are what I got, and they came in the mail today along with all the cutters that I ordered. So I'm pretty excited about that. For the cost of the lighters, they're pretty nice actually. I could see myself buying a few just to throw in my pockets for spares or throwaways at $2 a piece or whatever they were.
Right.
I think I spent $9 for 4 lighters.
That's incredible.
So I bought 8 of them, so I ended up spending $18 on 8 lighters.
And Ron, what we're referencing is we were just kind of giving a nod to the next Cigars for Warrior drive, and Chad was saying that he was going to get some cheaper lighters and cutters to try to start throwing in there. And cigars are great, but you need something to cut it with, and we're not 100% sure. I'm gonna try to I meant to do this after we got off last time. I'm actually reach out to them and get some clarification on the lighters, but cutters aren't a problem. We're just worried about shipping regulations and everything, but we're trying to find ways to actually send light and cut methods as much as possible with the cigars in case the guys don't have them or whatever.
Yeah, the cutters I got were $8 or $9 for 12, and I opened them up today just to look at them, and they look like any of the $3 or $4 cutters you'd get at a shop.
Right.
So they'll work great for them, but it's better than no cutter, right? That's what Pat and I were talking about.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea because I love what we do with the dries, during the year to do that for them.
Mm-hmm.
So, it seems fitting to just give them something that can reassure that they're not chewing the end off or whatever, trying to light it with the regular lighter.
Which we've all done. And don't say
Absolutely.
I told Pat I've used my jackknife I don't know how many times, But so when does the next drive start?
So the next drive will start in roughly a week from this being aired. So December 1st, we will kick off the winter drive, and it'll go to January 15th. I tried to slip up and say July 15th last time, but December 1st to January 15th. And when the drive kicks off, I'll be able to announce in the Facebook group how we are handling this one, and that's all I'm going to say yet.
Yeah,
Can't tip everybody. Just know we got something cool for this one.
I had a smoke-in coupon that I had to use before 11:15, so I got on there
Oh,
today.
that's
I got a
so
bundle of.
terrible. You had
Well,
to
I got a
buy something
bundle
from
of. Well,
Smoke Inn.
I bought them for Cigars for Warriors. I bought a bundle of the Maduro factory smokes. I
Yeah,
figure
yeah.
I'll throw that in with the cutters and lighters. So I pretty much have my Cigar for Warrior shopping done, and I'll just throw a few of my own sticks in there before I send them to you. So I'm all done.
Nice.
No.
I've been kind of purchasing extra stuff along the way. I've been throwing in, an extra bundle, an extra box, or whatever the last, 6 months. So I pretty much have my stash ready to go and ready to box up. So shortly after the drive, I'll be able to throw mine in the bin for it.
And
Hmm.
you know what's exciting is our group just keeps growing. So, the amount of cigars that we're able to ship the second time got even higher. So, it's cool to see how fast this is growing, and it's for a great cause.
Now, what's
Yep.
crazy is you say second time, and that comment alone, I'm gonna correct you, and you're wrong in a fantastic way. So, because the first time we did the drive, it was such a new, spontaneous idea, right? Even the guys like you that's been in the group the whole time, we didn't really. It was such a new thing for us to do as a group. So, our first drive was actually like 15 cigars. I think it was like
Yeah.
17, 15, 17. And I
Hmm.
was ecstatic then because, like, hey, we're starting something cool. And then the second drive was like 80 something. And that's the
Yeah.
first one I think that you and most people finally realized, hey, we're doing this thing.
Right.
And then the third one is when we just blew it up with 400. And for some other groups, that's a small number. But for at the time, we had less people than that in the group.
We had less than 200 when we did that, I think.
Yeah, because we hadn't hit the recent boom that we've hit in the page, so it was and we've joked about it, but I know a lot of that came from one guy. But even if you take his out, we were still you
Yeah,
know
yeah.
close to 300 cigars as a small group, so it's kind of
I'd be
ecstatic about
curious
it.
to. I'd be curious. You can go back and look, can't you, to see how many members? Because it wasn't less than. It was probably around 300, wasn't it? The second
Uh,
drive. The second drive.
so I could go back and look. It was
Because it's at 460 something now, right? Like I think that's what the membership is.
we were as we were crossed over. It's 470 something now, but you're something like that. I don't know if I can actually go back and see exactly where we were at that time. I'm not sure if I can actually do that. I think it just shows me current members and stuff like
Oh,
that.
okay.
Never tried to do that, but I don't think I can go back and check dates. But I know there's some analytics in there. I might be able to. Now I'm kind
Yeah.
of interested to see.
To Ryan's point, though, we got a lot more members, so hopefully they'll spur some more donations.
Hope
Yeah.
so, because we're all about it, and that doesn't go to us. So,
There's no
and
better cause.
since we're referencing smoke in, the prices on these are pretty standard. Doesn't matter what size you get. Excuse me. So your filet mignon, that robusto, you're basically right under 15 a piece.
Yeah.
75 for a 5-pack. Both of the two that y'all are smoking are both 77 for a 5-pack. This one's 82, so it's only a couple of dollars more. So they're all pretty, that, you know, $15 to $17 range a piece, which fantastic.
Yeah, most of the places I'm seeing them for 139 to 149 for a box of 10.
Yeah, that's you're going to tens, your price drops down to 126 to 139, so you're
Yeah.
right in that window as well. And it's still hot out here, so I'm rocking some pink lemonade with my Trash Panda and Cigars for Warriors cup.
Nice.
And I'll tell you, the lemonade pairs very well with that just straight meaty flavor, but kind of backyard barbecue. You know what I mean?
Old standby is Dr. Pepper for me, so
Oh, there's always Dr. Pepper in the house.
I think
100%.
it goes so well with most cigars. I really do, just because it's sweet. It's got a lot of the caramel notes and things in it
Yep.
that help you draw out some of those other flavors. I don't drink, so that's my go-to. That or this to cleanse my palate, which is
I can't see what
six,
that one is. What is that one?
San Pellegrino Limonada,
Oh,
and
there it is.
it's 16% lemon juice. So it literally, like, when you drink it, it makes your face pucker up. But I like it because it kind of cleans my palate off.
I was about to say because we were talking about the lime and
Lemon
lemon thing
juice.
to
Yep.
clean it up.
Yeah,
Somebody taught me
I'm
that a
going with
long
old.
time ago.
Right
What's up,
on.
Brian?
I said I'm going with the ginger ale. I think ginger
Mm,
ale is another good one that's just
I
easy
do.
on the palate. You know, it pairs very well with the cigars. So
it
That
does.
and cream soda. I like cream soda too.
I'm just not a big fan of cream soda in general. It's never been my jam
That's just
in
weird.
general. I get that reaction a lot, actually.
I'm gonna have to put my coat on.
Are you serious?
Oh my gosh, it's freezing here. I
Dude,
sent you a picture. It's 49 degrees, and I have
I
my heater
know.
on.
I would, if it wasn't for the microphone, I'd still have the fan blasting my face over here right now.
Well, I'm sorry.
I know
We're in
you are. It's okay.
2 different time zones, and we're working with 2 completely different climates right now. That's for sure.
Completely. Let's see. Let's get a real live snapshot of weather right now if it'll load up. Yeah, it's cooled down to 77 degrees.
That's about perfect. Is it really moist today? Like, you have a lot of humidity? You guys have tons of humidity down there, right?
We have high humidity year round. That never goes away.
Right.
Like we often joke down here a lot on Cigar World because most people, especially like whether y'all have the dual thermoelectric humidors or you're making sure that's in a properly heated room or whatever the case is, you more have to make sure your humidification is on point. Down here, if I get my bovitas that get dry or I don't pay attention to it, my humidity is low. Even inside the house, I literally just go open the humidor
uh,
and it
wow.
increases naturally because even inside the humidity level still tends to be in the 70s a lot.
70s. Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
doesn't
we
matter
don't
how
have
good
that
your
normally.
AC is.
Even with your AC running, you get numbers like that. That's just to keep it at 70, yeah.
Yeah, just to keep it at 70. Like when we have our power outages, it's usually the humidity that gets us because throw a generator on with some fans, and the temp, you can adjust your temp. It just gets so humid so quick without that HVAC pulling the moisture out. It sucks.
That's what you were saying. Like with the cooler doors, you guys don't buy the ones that regulate temperature. It's
I've
almost
got
pointless.
I've got one but it cools only. I give no craps whatsoever about the heated version. Never
The
gonna
heating,
need it.
yeah. Mine goes both ways, so it just keeps it pinned right there. But
Yeah.
you don't need that down there, apparently.
Nope. Well, before we come back to these toasty notes, Ryan, I would like to put you on the spot because a couple episodes back when you were here, you were sitting in front of your shed and you were telling us, some things about it. But we see that you're actually inside it now. So I'm
In the
curious
shed.
what you've done since you were back on here with us.
Yeah. So like this has been an ongoing project of mine, and this was like an old shed that my great grandfather had just like stored stuff in, and I had cleaned out probably 3 dump trailer loads of just junk over the years, and I put a floor in here, and I really hadn't gotten back to it. Well, it's starting to get cooler, and I've had some motivation, so I come in here, and the wall that's behind me, I framed up the wall, insulated it, ran wire. I got some old tin. I tore some pallets, put them up on the wall. So this is kind of like the theme that I'm going for. Keep it the
Nice.
rustic look to go along with, and it gives me a place to hang out and do this now. I don't have to worry about losing daylight and as it gets
Looks
colder.
awesome.
I'm gonna have a little pellet stove in here, so I'll have a heated area. So it'll be nice.
It
That's a
looks
good
very
point.
cool.
We they didn't get to see it on camera. They started to see you, but I think within 5 minutes of we shutting off the camera, you were in pretty much total eclipse
Dark.
darkness.
Yeah.
Right.
You were
You'll
kind of
have to
tailing
put
off
a
the end. We barely squeezed you in there.
you'll have to put a pickup during this episode of where he was sitting before, so people can see the outside of the shed.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that because you see the comparison between where he was to where he is now, and I'm trying to not set my cigar down because I'm curious to see
I
where my
know.
where my
I'm trying
ash
to do
is.
that.
Dude, white boy reflecting, homie.
Trying to see if how long you can go before you have
There
to
we go.
tap it.
Well,
I'm probably gonna tap it soon.
y'all got some good ash on our group session with that that last ADV, and I set it down too hard really early and knocked one ash off. So I'm trying to see where we get to. I'm about an inch and a half right now, and I'm still. And I know all of us. This is not a new cigar for us. We specifically brought this in as a Thanksgiving treat today.
Yeah.
So it's not a new reveal for us, but it's always such a good, just rich, meaty flavor, and that's pretty much. I'm getting that aged tobacco, just enough of a spice to literally call it like seasoning on a steak. It's not overpowering. It's not kicking your face with too much pepper. You know, just the right amount of earthiness to bring it all together, but not enough to override that spice to it. It's very, very well done, and it's always consistent. Consistent for me.
Yep. The onset of this beef stick is a little more peppery than the rest because I've smoked all of them except the porterhouse. But
That is true. You did say that.
so like the first half inch of that, it's a little rough on the retro, but it's smoothed right out now. I'm getting all the same, and I also feel like you can almost I'm envisioning it right, but like steak seasoning is something that if you did any dry pulls on it, I feel like you can taste like almost like a salty steak seasoning in it too. I don't know if you guys did any cold draw on it, but or if you ever have.
I have, but I'm not gonna lie and say that I remember all the notes, and I did not do it today.
Yeah. I definitely did on mine because I get like the charred wood with the ribeye at the beginning, and it pairs very nice with that like subtle spice of like what we're talking about with the seasoning.
Yeah, it almost
that
tastes like seasoning. Like it's
Yep.
salty, like you think about when you're the smell you get when you're layering that stuff on a steak.
Yeah.
Getting it all ready.
Yeah.
Get it all on your fingers.
licking the fingers off. Goodness.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, computer issue. That's my fault. Which is the theme of the theme of the day apparently. I love the remote sessions. They have been fantastic, but you are at the complete mercy of the internet gods. So,
Yeah.
when you're in three different states coming together at the same time, it just is what it is.
That's right. But it's still a great atmosphere to be able to just join with you brothers, you know what I mean, and just enjoy cigars and chat about what they all are like, and especially this episode because we're smoking three different sticks. So,
Yeah,
yes, they're similar, but they're a little different in their own ways.
So, where I commented that mine's, spiced but real smooth, Chad having the smallest one of the three of us is getting a lot more of that pepper.
Hey.
I
Oh my God.
we're, like Justin says, where's Ellen?
Moving on.
Moving on. But
Glad Lowry's not on this episode now because he would have taken that one to the bank.
He would have. He floats the line of where I have to censor and where I don't.
you know where you're at with it. Yeah.
I also had a similar effect when Woot was on the show with us because we used to make comments that and he was on 4 episodes with us more earlier on. He's like, man, if we're here 1 week and next week the entire channel's canceled, it probably is because of Whoop. And sometimes I feel that way with Justin.
Yeah.
He's only been on a couple, but I know how he is off the camera, so
Yep.
which
Doesn't hold back.
doesn't hold back. And I'll be able to show this. I have absolutely zero wind right now, so good chance to really portray. And I'm reflecting some burn here, so it's I still consider this pretty good. Where it's kind of got a slight roll right there, but that's like a quarter of an inch, less than half of an inch. I don't even care about that. That's still good to me.
Is that a soft box press too?
It is, and they might.
I think they all are except the beef stick.
I think that's correct. Is it actually? No, it doesn't say. Without me going to dig, but just has a size of it. But I'm pretty sure that's accurate.
Well, I know I've had the fillet and the ribeye, and they're both soft box. Yep.
And I like a soft box press, even in a Gordo. And of course, I do like the bigger ones. But when you get to a certain ring gauge, the airflow and draw on your mouth, it depends on the shape. It does help a little bit too. So, it's just why sometimes we might punch a big Gordo to kind of keep the airflow centered over your palate. But when it's box pressed, like I said, I straight cut this one and it's fine. It kind of helps it stay together and stay smooth. I'm really surprised I haven't dropped my ash yet. I'm proud of myself because I move my hand everywhere.
I went ahead and tapped mine off so I don't wear it in my lap.
Right? I'm getting real close. I feel like, because it's starting to do the curve, I feel like we're about to that point. So we'll see what happens. Man, did y'all? Man, I think it was in. Oh, I forget. It's one of the other. I know we're all in several cigar groups together, so I forget which one. But there was a picture of a guy that had like 4-inch ash, and he had it dead center.
Yeah.
Did y'all see that? It was just stacked. Man, I wish I knew where it was.
I think I saw that the other day. Just in the last 2 days, huh?
I feel like it was either in CDN's group or maybe the Socialites, one of those two. I feel like it's one of the bigger ones, and somebody posted it, and it was just freaking just standing up on 4 inches of ash. I'm like, Jesus. One.
Oh no, I remember because you commented on it, didn't you? Did you comment on it?
So. I think I did.
I think it was Cigars Daily. I remember that vaguely. It was more than a few days ago, if it's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was yesterday, so that's why I can't remember it. Just in somewhat recent times. Well, crap.
I gotta pull my heater in here. I'm almost shivering.
Ryan, if I had this on the other camera, I might have my own slow mo. We'll see
if
I
get
it. I might still have it. We'll see. Lost my own ash.
That's the reason I don't do that, because I sit with my legs out in front of me. If I drop an ash in there, I'm gonna have to get up and.
Look at that! I'm holding it. It's still constructed well enough. I'm holding it in my hand. That's ridiculous.
One
Very
chunk.
nice.
Yeah, that's how you know they're good ash, if they hang on to each other when you break off.
Exactly. That is even with all the jokes and all innuendos, talking about ash is talking about solid construction in a cigar. So if it burns well, that means it was built well.
Yep. Yeah, I've never had a cigar that was poorly constructed that had a nice ash on it. It just doesn't. They don't go together.
And I don't know if Dunbarton knows how to poorly construct a cigar to begin with, because
no. I mean, every once in a while you get one that's plugged or whatever, but that's normal of any brand.
It's still an organic handmade product. Things are going to happen, whether doesn't always necessarily mean it's the roller too. It just be a stiffer leaf that got slipped in. Things happen, but as a company wide, and part of that goes into just the way. And anybody that's been in cigar world for more than 5 minutes has probably heard of Steve Saka, and just the way that he runs his company and the way that he does his quality control. He refuses to produce more than he's capable of or more than is required. He doesn't force production to meet numbers. He makes sure that he stays within quality standards. He's real real picky about some of that, and that's where you get this
Yep.
quality product from.
Yeah, I think that you're probably correct in that he's overbearing almost in his processes, and that's what gives you the quality and consistency you get.
But
So
that's what you got to do, and we've talked about, good time to say something like this on a Dunbarton related show. Sporting the murdered out hat, by the way.
I saw that. I just looked at
I
that. I was
know.
like, those are
I meant
so
to,
sweet too.
I meant to mention that I've wanted to get these a few times, and pretty much only swag or event only, and I finally got a bundle where I was able to get my hands on one. So literally day one wearing this hat. I'm gonna have to wear it sparingly to make it last, but we've talked times before on the show where you have some cigar owners that are great blenders, great businessmen, but don't have that customer service touch. So you'll
Mhm.
have reps go out, and then you have other companies that their head of the company is such a personable individual that they can also go out and show their face and interact with customers. And Steve Saka is one of probably the top 5 in the industry, in my opinion, that handles customers directly, both from a good light and a bad light. When he has to correct stuff, when he has to put people in their place, he does so very elegantly.
Yeah.
And when he's talking to people, he interacts with as much as possible. And that personality rolls back over into how he handles the business, which is why he's not going to push out cigars simply to meet a demand number. He pushes it out to do his best to meet demand within his predetermined quality standards. So that whole aspect of how he runs his business is phenomenal. And it runs over into the cigars, it runs over into his social media aspects, his in-person aspects, which is why you have several other companies that all want to do stuff like this with him. Like Red Meat Lovers Club has theirs, Famous Smoke has the 80th anniversary. You've got Secreto with the Don Derma. Like, people want to do things with Steve and Dunbarton because it's just the way he
He's
is.
got a CDN exclusive getting ready. Tim's rolling out too here shortly.
Yep, I'm excited. I'm hoping I can get my hands on that when it drops.
Yeah. To your point, I think that a lot of the reason that smokers like Steve is because he interacts with people on social media all the time. Like, so you don't feel like he's a brand owner that's so separated from the cigar smoking world that you can't be in contact with him. If you post something and you tag him, half the time he'll come back and respond to you directly,
Right.
Yeah.
which is really impressive. And I think that that's a lot of the guys that are loyal to his brand. That's part of the reason why, is because he makes himself so accessible. And I've seen him over and over again on there with quality issues, broken ashtrays, constantly sending, Anna back to this person to send them a new ashtray or send them
Right.
cigars or whatever. Like, their customer service is top notch. And I think
Phenomenal.
that's part of the other reason they've been so successful as a boutique brand. He calls them, he says they're boutique, but they've got to be approaching above that status at some point. But
I know, because
he says they're boutique, so
boutique tends to be your smaller, more streamlined, handcrafted, which it's technically how he is. But
mhm.
I don't know when you cross the the definition line from boutique when you're still handcrafted, but you're able to produce and make as much as you are. So, which is just a good note to the smokes. But I know we might have a podcast and everything, but in the cigar world, we are peons, and I get giddy whenever anybody comments, and I say something in a group, and I'm sure y'all both have seen this yourselves. That he will, I know I've seen him personally tag me and comment in a reply something I did, because whether I was
Mhm.
right,
Yeah.
or maybe there was a couple times I slightly misspoke something. He corrected it, and he was just, and some people can be rude, and he's just like, "Hey, man, you're close, but this is really what's going on."
Right.
Yeah.
He's such a wealth of knowledge when it comes to anything cigars. I love hearing the guy talk. I just go in there and read his post, and he
Right.
writes a page on something
Yeah.
that somebody comments on, and like, just goes so in depth with it, stuff that we would never even have the availability to know that stuff without living
Right.
the cigar world for as long as he has. It's
Yeah,
very
and it's
impressive.
his passion too. So like he wants people to be well informed with the
Yep.
information too. So he's subtle about letting you know, in depth of what it entails and all of that, and you know
Absolutely.
why he does what he does. So
Yep. To Pat's point, he
definitely
does it
makes
the
him
right
stand out.
way. Yep.
Yeah,
And it, doesn't hurt that he's got like an ASMR audiobook narrator's voice. So
right.
it's like, need to get him write a cigar book just so he can, speak it on audiobook. Which, that oddly enough, if when you're the more our social media world has grown, that matters because you got people that is easy to listen to while you're driving, and then you've got some people, unfortunately, your nails on a chalkboard. It's just hard to listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. He's a character, that's for sure.
He is.
yeah.
And if you are watching this and you are newer to the cigar world like we all were at one point, you have no idea who we're talking to, just go take a little Google. Steve Saka,
That's right.
Saka,
And get ready.
and get ready. Man came over from Jura State after a long career over there, started his own brand, and my goodness, hit the ground running. But yeah, his personality is on point, which is what we all love in cigar world is communication and that brotherhood. So
He's
love
got
it.
to be the hardest working brand owner as far as he is constantly on the move, doing shows, doing
It's gotta be.
events all the time. Him and Lafferty
Yeah,
are on the road all the time.
yeah.
It's
Him and David
crazy.
are always on the road. Yeah, it
Always.
is.
But that's what's making their brand so successful.
It is. And but cool dude. And this is one of those shows where that this cigar doesn't have a lot of transitional notes that we come back to. It's just a smooth, solid, meaty goodness cigar. So, you know, perfect time to influence the show with a little Saka talk.
I
That's
get a
right.
little. You guys get any sweet on? I know the ribeye has some sweet, but this is picking up more sweet than I usually get this far in. But there's some sweet notes in there
I get it on
for
the.
sure.
I usually always get it on the porterhouse, but it is so subtle. It's just like a little. It's almost, well, if we're going with the puns here, it's almost like that basting note on the end. It's
Mm,
just enough that it's there.
yeah. So
That
these in the middle of the ribeye, you definitely get that, you know, subtle sweetness of baking spice. I'd almost say like a black cherry even in there,
yeah,
like a hint of it.
the
You
tip of
know,
my tongue and my lips. I get the. That's where I'm getting that sweet note.
Ryan. Me and Chad recently had a discussion about your palate, and I just want to tell you directly on this show, we appreciate the living hell out of the stuff because there's things that you pick up like specifics like we're sitting here talking about like, oh yeah, it's sweet, and you're like, no, it's a sweet black cherry. Like you're able to pull out, you
Mm,
know, there's just some notes that, and which is to the point of why we do shows like this, and we said this half a million times. If you want to know everything encyclopedic about this book, you've got Half Wheel and Blind Man's Puff and Catman. We do this because we want the homeboy level, right? And this is why. So all three of us have been smoking for a long number of years, so we all have refined palates, but they're completely differently refined palates. We all
yeah.
pick up different things off of the same smoke, but we were talking about that we enjoy having conversations with you because a lot of times you're able to pick up things that we just don't. Like us being able to say like oh, there's some sort of spice there, and you pull nutmeg out or whatever. You just so
Mm,
it's kind of interesting to have your intake on what we think is there, and you're able to kind of pull it out a little bit more specifically. So you were part of our conversation even when you weren't here. So
hey, I appreciate that.
There was one on the last show. I can't remember what it was, but I was super impressed with that when we did the La Lorana. I
Mm,
don't remember what it was, but you were like, "Yeah, it's this," and I was like, You know, that's right.
I remember the moment, but I don't like it without going back to watching. I forget exactly which comment it was. There was oh man, because I remember we both kind of had the same reaction. We were kind of hesitant on something, and he was just like, "Oh yeah, you know, you got this, blah blah blah." And she's like, "Oh, there it is."
We'll have to give Ryan a new nickname. We'll have to come up with something good. It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one. Don't worry.
That could be a good
Oh, there
giveaway.
you go. There you go.
Always about excuses for giveaways. We've got a couple coming up. Of course, Cigars for Warriors coming up. We've got to name that cigar coming up. And I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you, Ryan, because since you're not a moderator, you're eligible for the contest, so you won't see it yet. But you know, we've made fun of Chad a few times on a caption photo contest. Well, I gave myself a great one on the last episode, so I will be the next victim.
It has something to do with where you point on the camera. That's all I'm going to say. And he looked like a T-Rex that was 12 beers in, and I don't know. There was a whole lot going on.
I hate that is extremely accurate, actually. But you know, I was making fun of myself because we kept pointing to, you know, we were actually doing that was the Tamarind episode. We were doing the drawing for the giveaway from his photo contest, and I kept pointing the wrong way of where the picture was going to be posted. So we just made fun of myself, and bro, it's a good one.
I started to try to do it. I was like, oh, now I see why you get screwed up, because it's exactly opposite of what you think. You know, if I want to point this way, I'm pointing at the other side of the screen right now. So it gets you all messed up.
It's like I'm trying to point at Ryan, and that's not where he's at.
Right.
But hey, if you can't laugh at yourself, laugh at somebody else, right?
Hey, that's what it's all about, having a good time.
It is. But
and can we compliment the amount of smoke that these sticks have? Like, they're just so full.
You know,
yeah, the beef stick isn't like that so much because it's a lot smaller. But I do agree with you, especially when you get up in the next sizes. Even the little fillets, it's a little smoke maker.
Well, even with your smaller size and with your background, and I understand smoke's going to be easier to see with mine and Ryan's dark.
That was the wind. Sorry.
Hey, at least you don't have a backdrop hitting you in the head.
Let's try that again. There we go.
That was a nice catch. That was smooth, dude. I ain't even gonna lie.
It was coming in my lap if I didn't catch it, so I didn't have much of a choice.
First touch up of the game, and it was a small one. But yeah, so even with your white background, you know, us being able to see smoke. So even on a smaller size, you're still getting good smoke production.
It's not terrible, but man, that fillet just pumps it out. Or the
ribeye.
Is it the fillet? The ribeye.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one for sure because of the size too. It's perfect size for me.
I feel like I've referenced it before, but anytime I get a good smoky cigar, I gotta pull Derek out for a little bit and blow it in your face. Which I am hoping we get him on. I'm not gonna, you know, hoping we get him on soon. Trying to pull him back into it. Which I think we are. We've said it in the last few episodes. We're working out some kinks in our schedules, but I think we're gonna get to sneak him on some remote sessions.
He's a funny dude.
He is. I'm gonna say that. And all like, that go up and smoke, but you know.
And that's like half the battle too, because we all live in different areas. So like, just getting the times to work out is just, you know, a chore in itself.
It is, and which is kind of fun. Us having, you know, like I said, there's going to be times where it's just me and Chad. You know, things that we've pre-planned. You know, stuff that's been planned for months, but having the two of y'all in here, so now we got 4 people, and unfortunately, you know, Justin wasn't able to jump on this one, but we've it gives us the ability to, you know, kind of to mix it up,
mix and match parts. Yeah.
You know, like I've done it a couple times where I did, EDC shows, this everyday cigar, where I talk about a cigar topic, right? It's not a review show. I haven't necessarily even had the time to do that because we've now gotten several other people involved, like having y'all in here, where it gives us the freedom to, even though we're jiving schedules, I can, you know, kind of pick who's free. So lets us kind of get together more frequently, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. I'm really excited to get the virtual herf going.
I know we that test went great, and I'm hoping by the time this edits and airs, we're trying to sneak one in there, and so we got the test in there. Now we're just working on ways for scheduling, and we got a couple times coming soon. I think we'll be able to pull that off, but I'm anxious to kind of get it rolling. And once we get it rolling a couple times, it won't always necessarily have to be me sponsoring, or one of y'all two can. Once we kind of get the vibe and y'all kind of see how it runs, because it's running it off of Skype is going to be nice, easy, free, and just convenient. So
yeah, you just have to send out a code, right? Or
yeah, basically,
however it gets set up.
All we're doing is, once even to just two of us can be like, hey, we're free at this date and this time, maybe about 48 hours in advance, or even if it's a day in advance, whatever we got, we'll make a post on there. It's like, hey, virtual herf announcement. This is the date and time, that we're going to do it. Just say, hey, if you're ready, just jump on the page at this time. We'll post the link. And then, say if it's 2:00 on, Friday or whatever, well, 2:00 on Friday, whichever one of us is sponsoring the link, you go create the room, and then just go create the post once you have the link. So, hey, anybody welcome? Here's the link. Jump in. So it's more of a timing thing than it's not really a difficult thing at all.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
But, everything's make some tests. And just like this, it took us a little bit to get the kinks out before. Well, we still have some kinks, but every once in a while you'll see one of us freeze up, or it might take us longer to get started. But, good things take time to actually get rolling once you have a plan. So,
for sure.
So my spice has kicked up just a touch now that we're in the back half. Getting pretty close on the Gordo side is what I can say is the final third. I'm technically not there, but I am so close. But it's getting a little bit extra. Like I said, I'm not really going to say pepper yet, but I'm getting more spice and more seasoning, if you will. There's Ryan, where you're at on your, with your size difference, did your spice increase any, or does yours kind of stay somewhat level?
So in the middle, it definitely stayed level. It's settled right in, and now, I'm still at like halfway. I'm
right
not into the back third yet, but I definitely haven't had a huge change. The only thing that's really added into mine is like some extra dark chocolate flavors that's definitely hit in, but I think that's just the smoke settling in on the tobacco as you're smoking it. It just pulls that flavor out of it.
So while we're all here, hold yours up. I just want to get a comparison of kind of where we're all at here. Chad's got his win, so he's getting a little.
Mine's the smallest.
Yeah,
it is
usual.
Well,
no, I smoked this legit. That wasn't really the win. I've been puffing away pretty hard on it.
And you do have smaller Vitola, something that doesn't always happen with us. So there is that too.
Yeah, this one's going to smoke a little faster. This normally is about an hour or maybe a little less for me. So
I should technically be the slowest smoking, but this is one that talked about where I tend to do, even though I'm talking, I tend to do a little bit more frequent strong puffs just because I like it so dang much.
Yeah.
It's
to
really
pull
hard
out
to
Justin's
down.
word from the last one we did, the umame would be a good description of pretty much the base profile of this, I think. It's just kind of neat,
I'm glad he pulled that out, because we knew that there was some sort of beefy, savory note, and just couldn't put our finger on it. And to some people, that's fine. That's plenty.
But it's something I'd heard a bunch of times, but I didn't really understand or recognize what it meant.
Right.
I heard it over and over.
it was kind of good for him to kind of pull that out, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's, you know, just the reference it's been a few shows, and that's just your Japanese flavor, just your mix of, it's kind of that sweet, sour, salty, savory mix, which is just kind of got its own unique flavor in it. Once you know that
Yeah.
that's what you're kind of experiencing, it kind of pops out.
Yeah, you referenced some chocolate, Ryan. I started getting chocolate about halfway through the second third, just real light, and then some of that sweet with it too. So it's a good flavor. I like it.
It's there a little bit. I do taste more chocolate when I get a ribeye than I do on the porterhouse.
Yeah.
I would almost lean just for verbiage to maybe say it's more of a cocoa than a chocolate, because it doesn't quite have that sweet punch as much. It's just kind of there on your back palate.
Are you retroing it though? We talk about
Retro,
this every time.
retro. Of course, I've only retroed a couple times, but when I retro this one, I get more. It acts for like a second that it's going to be a pepper, and then it just goes right back into that spice. It's just stronger, more pungent.
Yeah.
But I don't really get a flavor difference for me when I retro this one, like we do some.
So I think with this ribeye with the retro, you only get like a red pepper. You don't really get a black pepper, which I think is really smooth.
That, see, we're talking about specifics here. That might, again, great band to come off. Doesn't destroy the cigar. I will throw that as a positive anytime it happens.
Absolutely.
So we said this a couple times. We're not going to bash any company, but we all know the one that has an issue with too much glue.
There's a couple of them actually, but
well, there's a couple of them. There's just one that we all kind of dig on because their cigars are just can't get the glue right. But
got fat fingers.
right. But that's a good pull, because I wasn't really going specific to red pepper, but that's a good point because it's there, but it's not, still doesn't. Chad's over here bundling up. This is ridiculous.
this works.
Yeah.
You know, where's Justin? That would have been his moment to call out, since we're talking about Dunbarton. There's Mr. Saka, the bald head with the beard.
You saw that comment today, right? He said he's gonna dress up like Saka. I'm like, well,
I was catching
really
up on
too
the
far
three of
off.
y'all. I was catching up on the
just
three
have
of
to
y'all.
shave my beard down to a goatee.
There you go.
Sport the bald head.
Right?
Not
Nothing
far
wrong
away.
with the bald head.
Nothing wrong
Far
with the
away.
bald head. It's got
That's
our
just
own-
good genetics right there. Good genetics.
Oh my god! Can't let Steve see that one. Be all over it.
So there's worse people you could look like, I suppose.
Oh, 100%. But man, this is I'm glad we came together for a Dunbarton. This is one, you know, there's sometimes on this show that we pull in brand new sticks. There's a few that we smoked that none of us have had, and there's sticks like this that we've all had, and they still all deserve their equal honor or dishonor, depending on the quality of the stick. So far, I've only had one on this show that I've had to rate poorly. So far, we've been lucky that everything we've smoked has either been, you know, great, or even if it wasn't great, it was still just a good cigar. So it's good that something like this, where even though it's not a blind review for us in this case, this is bringing our opinions out to the public on what we think about it, and not a complex cigar, but a very solid, flavorful, smooth cigar that we all enjoy. So if you have not smoked a Red Meat Lovers by Dunbarton Tobacco Trust, highly recommend putting your hands on one. This is one where as you kind of pick up, even with the simple flavors, we're all getting a little bit different. So give them a shot. Try the different ones out. See what you think.
Yep. If you're into spicy, go with the beef stick.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you like them a little smooth, go up.
Yep. Facts.
Back to the you were talking about the soft box press, and
Right.
I'm a sucker for them too. And Part of it for me is the mouthfeel. I like the mouthfeel of a box press too,
Indeed.
over just a standard Parejo. I just, for whatever reason, just that being a little bit flatter for whatever reason, I like it.
Well, it's just a simple anatomical thing. You've got when you relax your mouth and you just, you're not trying to pull it out of a straw. You just, drop the jaw to put it. You kind of got that somewhat of a square, shape that kind of works great with that soft box press. So it's just, I think it's just kind of an anatomical concept at that point. But you know what time it is, Chad, and I don't like it.
Oh, is it that time?
It's that time.
Not already.
See,
and I love the new sad face guy.
Ryan, did you catch the ending of that episode yet? Have you had a chance to watch it with
Yeah.
He came up with that on the show, apparently.
Yeah.
Like, we need this.
Okay.
And he's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then he did it. It was awesome.
It's just like, man, I say this every time, it's like, man, because, we love doing this. We love talking. We love the show because we're interacting with people, but we're interacting with each other. And it's sad because it recognizes the time that the Herf is about done. And, it's like, well, I need a sad ballad. So I went and found one. That was funny. Chad told me I should do it, so I did it. Hey, here we go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it was funny.
I don't know if I'll do it every time or not, but it was pretty hilarious.
If you're looking for smoke time on a beef stick, there it is.
Yeah, so
we're there. We're there.
I mean, you're just.
And I don't have my corkscrew either.
Oh, that was a bad ass nubber.
I forgot about it. So,
but it's good enough. You're just burning your fingers. Keep on smoking.
Burn my lips too.
Well, gents, as always, appreciate y'all coming out. Everybody watching this, hope you are or about to have, depending on your schedules, a fantastic Thanksgiving. Whether you are with family, with friends, or you are stuck at work, like yours truly. Just be safe, have some fun, and try to let the demons of the world kind of stand by for a little bit while you're thankful for what you have, which is, one of the best parts of the season. But gentlemen, thank you for coming out. If y'all are watching this, as always, you know the drill. Stay safe and hollow down.
Happy Thanksgiving.